Hey everybody, welcome back to Tall John's Fun Shop. Let's learn something new today, something real important.
Mhm.
We talk about total timing and the power and what it can do, but of course if it's too far, what happens if you got total timing too far advanced? Well, your car ain't fun to drive if it's backfiring and like the Roadrunner does when the initial timing is real low. It's not fun to drive, it's embarrassing, it stinks, and it just frankly don't run right. So the second most important part of getting your ignition timing right is the initial timing. That's the one that gives you that easy start, that nice throttle response and things like that. No throttle response stinks, right? So let's get going here and let's talk about initial timing and how we achieve it. Hear that?
Yep.
That's retarded initial timing. That's the way I always hear of these people when they're taking their car out to go drive it. Glug, 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 glug. Now, I'm going to put it in gear and I'm going to back it up and come back forward and listen to this. Then we're going to reset this timing to where it belongs and then listen to it.
All right. And more you.
That is totally factory stock timing for what the truck calls for.
Huh.
Okay, now let's put it where we put it.
All right.
All right, so could you tell the difference in the sound of the exhaust?
Oh heck yeah, I could.
And you weren't even sitting in a driver's seat, and I bet you could tell I was trying to get it to move with the throttle.
Yeah.
That is factory timing compared to the high initial that we set in the car from the fact. What's different from the factory? The
Yeah.
factory set the timing back that far because of emissions. You can listen to cars when you go to car shows. Listen to their exhaust and you can tell if they got low initial timing and if they know what they're doing with their distributor or not. It's a pretty telltale deal right there. Most initial timing ends up somewhere between 15 to 20, 25 degrees, somewhere in there, probably mostly around 20, 18, something like that.
Mhm.
So you can use your timing light
Mhm.
and you can set it here until it gets to 18, and then you can start your engine up and rotate the distributor until your timing light marks up, or your timing line lines up with 0, and that'll put you at 18 initial. But where do we really want it? Every engine again is different if it's got more compression or all those other things that are on the list. So what we want to do here is you go ahead and start it out at say 18 if you want to,
Mhm.
but you want to basically uh, have the engine completely heat soaked, have it completely hot. That's when the engine's going to struggle to start the most, when the timing is up high. And you want to advance that timing until the starter starts to kind of kick back. And I think most of us have heard that when it's too far advanced, the starter goes and does that. We don't want it to do that. That'll hurt the starter eventually, and we don't want that. So what you're going to do is you're going to keep cranking the engine when it's heat soaked until it stops doing that. So you advance it as far as you can without the engine kicking back under startup. So we've got this 440 really hot, and we're going to go ahead and start it up, and you'll see how it starts. And its initial timing right now is around 18. So something like that. We're going to start it. When you do this, make sure you take your vacuum line off. You can plug it if you want to, because it is an air leak. You can plug it if you want to, but it doesn't matter, in my opinion. You're going to take your timing, and you're going to advance it. See how it's sped up? Let's go back here and see how it starts. Still starts up nicely. Let's keep going. Okay, did you hear that time? It kind of kicked back a little bit?
Yep.
Okay, so that tells us it's too far. So now we're going to back it up a little bit. Now look how far over we got our dash pot there. See, now if we're going to back it up just a little. Now, make sure that your distributor is tight enough to turn by hand, or loose enough to turn by hand, but not so loose that while the engine's running, it'll move. Because while the engine's running, the timing will retard if it's too loose. Tight enough not to move while it's running, loose enough to turn by hand, okay? Still heard just a bit of it. Now this is varies on every engine, but it's very, you play with it all you want. And when you get your initial timing set, it's going to mess with your total timing, and that's where the trouble comes in. So you want to find where your initial is so that you can do your total and have them put together inside that distributor. If you don't have vacuum advance, you still got this. Unless you lock out your distributor, this should be done. This needs to be done. Let's see how it starts. All right. Starts up very nicely. Let's see what our initial timing is. And we'll just look down here, and I don't know if the camera will be able to see it or not. This is a different camera than what we usually use, so it may be able to see it. So come around here, Jacob, and point it down here. Around here. All right, let's see what our timing is. Okay, 22. Let's see what our total is. All right, now when you do vacuum advance, make sure the engine is fully warmed up. And what you're going to do is use your tachometer here. And we're going to get this air cleaner out of the way so that we can make adjustments with the carburetor.
All right.
Okay. So here's our vacuum advance. Now we're going to go start it up. Now I have this vacuum on full time vacuum. This is ported. On the back is full time. I have this vacuum on this truck on full time vacuum. This is part of the reason it gets the economy that it gets. Okay. All right, so let me explain procedure. All right, so procedure is we're going to start it up. We're going to set our idle speed. In this case here, our distributor maxes out at under 2,000 RPMs. So I'm going to set it up to 2,000 RPMs. We got full-time vacuum on the distributor, and we are going to adjust the timing advanced until our RPM peaks out. Okay, so when I set it at around 2000, I'll be able to adjust. In fact, I'll retard it back like this just so it makes a big change. Okay, and as I advance the timing, this RPM is going to come up. When it gets as high as it can go, the engine should be perfectly smooth, and when I go a little bit further, you'll see the engine start to shudder and shake a little bit, and you'll watch the RPMs drop and be inconsistent. At that point, you're too far. Back the distributor off until it gets to consistent and high, and then check your timing where it is. And that will be your total, absolute total timing minus 2 degrees. All right, here goes.
Or
See our tachometer? Most consistent right there. I hope you can hear it. Okay, so 49 was our absolute total. I've seen as high as 58 before. 49's not too bad. The thing here is that once we achieved 49, I reset our meter to 47, realigned our marks, and that's where I'll tie my distributor down for my absolute total everything. That is with your curve installed. You should still have a very good initial, all those things. All that is going to be, I'll show all that to you on how to achieve all three of those numbers in your distributor. You can pop it in there, set it for your total at 47 degrees, and go down the road and get excellent economy. very good startups, nice and just responsive throttle, and excellent wide open power. That's what we're trying to achieve with this whole distributor thing. So in any case, that will be coming up next year. Now you can leave it at 49, but you want to back it off a couple degrees, and the reason you want to do that is because this is at absolutely the highest vacuum the engine can achieve at that speed, and that's because you couldn't go down the road without hitting the throttle. And in order to go down the throttle, you're going to have to open it slightly. That will allow more pressure into the cylinders, increasing the compression slightly, and that 49 degrees may be too much, so the 47 is perfect. Also, if one day you go get a bad load of gas, you don't have to adjust your timing again. You drive through it and get yourself a good tank. So that's the reason for that. Experiment, play, have fun, figure it out. Vacuum advance is not going to blow your engine up. It'll make it run. If the timing is too far advanced, you'll be driving along and you'll just feel it kind of bucking slightly. The engine should be perfectly smooth if the engine is running correctly. That is how you achieve your total with vacuum. So Jacob, what do you do when you like a video?